Hey friends, it's Jill here with the Hometown Homestead, and today I'm going to talk to you about something I'm actually pretty passionate about, and that is finding a Christmas gift that they'll actually love, use, and that will last the test of time. Now, that isn't always super easy, and over the years with my kiddos, we have definitely made some mistakes in this department, but I wanted to share some of the things that have been big hits for us. Now, for me, for it to be a hit, it has to be imaginative, creative, keep them entertained, and I'll be honest, it can't take up a bunch of space. I don't like clutter. I don't like things with a whole bunch of pieces that I'm going to find everywhere or be responsible for helping them corral and put away. So if you are like me and want something to spark imagination yet do a better job of keeping the house tidy, I think this might be something that you're going to be interested in. So I am going to put in some clips of my kids playing with all of the toys that I'm recommending here. If you want to share this with some friends who might also be interested, or even family members who might be buying for your kids, definitely give this one a thumbs up and subscribe to the page because this one is going to get good. I do want to start off by letting you know that these are pretty much in random order. I did start with some of the younger kiddo things, but I'll be honest with you, my kids all play together. I have 5 kids, ages 10 to 2, and my 10-year-old is often in playing with the wooden blocks with my 2-year-old. So these are gifts that all of the family can enjoy together. So speaking of wooden blocks, when we had the baby shower for our oldest son, we were gifted 2 sets of the wooden alphabet letter blocks. I know there are tons of different blocks on the marketplace these days that are available. Everything from magnet blocks, which we've had, to the little wooden blocks that you can build with. In our house, these wooden alphabet blocks have absolutely stood the test of time. Not only can they see colors and letters and numbers, but they can build really neat towers with them. So for our house, the magnet tiles got donated, the Legos had to go, but we kept the wooden blocks. I know some of you are thinking, no, not the Legos. Those are really good for imagination and creative play. Yeah, but they're not good for picking up. So I'll tell you more about what we replace them with in a bit. The next thing on my list are silks and butterfly wings that are actually silk as well. Now, these are so cute and the kids love to play with them. The boys have used the big silks as capes when they were wanting to be superheroes. We've used them as baby wraps to wrap babies around them, just like I do when I have a newborn. And they've even used them as blindfolds and handcuffs, depending on what the game is. The butterfly wings are pretty self-explanatory. They are limited to butterfly, but sometimes they use them as fairy wings and those kinds of things as well. They pair beautifully with black jammies for a simple, easy Halloween costume, and they've gotten years and years of love and play around our house. When I ask my boys what their favorite presents were ever that they've received, this was a resounding hit. They wanted to talk about the Bass Pro Adventure sets. This set includes trucks, boats, trailers, RVs, and all sorts of little outdoors activity vehicles that the kids can love and play inside or out. My guys like to take these out and build paths in the yard. They even have created different campers and add-ons to go with them out of cardboard, which was actually another thing that my oldest said he would consider one of his favorite Christmas gifts, which I thought was pretty funny. But I will put in some pictures here to show you some of their creations so you can see why he said that. These Bass Pro Adventure sets we've had around probably starting at age 2 or 3. They're still going strong today, 8 years later. And now at this point, we pretty much have them all. But even my daughters are interested and have some sets that match as well. So they can create a huge outdoor extravaganza and set up a whole entire scene using our rug as the lake and setting up really neat things that spark creativity and imagination, adding in their little animal sets that they've gotten along the way. So the Bass Pro Adventure sets were a huge hit. My sons absolutely love them, daughters too, and they've definitely lasted the test of time. Now, I did mention cardboard earlier. I do want to give a plug for that. My kids spend hours and hours and hours in our recycling pile with duct tape and scotch tape. He wanted to be sure both got added. And they create things like the camper for the Avenger set, like masks and all sorts of creative things that they use for their play around the house. So if you want to spark creativity, you don't have to spend a bunch of money. I grabbed several different colored rolls of duct tape for one of my son's recent birthdays, adding into the other gifts that we got them. And they were absolutely thrilled with that purchase. Camo duct tape is a huge hit around here. They use it to camouflage anything that they're working on because they really do love being outdoors and pretending to hunt and fish and set up their own photo shoots. So this kind of stuff is right up their alley, really inexpensive, and just sparks tons of creativity. But you do need to have some scissors around that are safe for kids, so I definitely would recommend adding those to your pile as well. Now, since we're talking about crafting, last year's hit runaway hardcore winner of our Christmas gifts was a roll of pencils, a roll of colored pencils that was easy to transport in their bags back and forth to church or to my mom's house or wherever we're going. They can take them on the go with them and use them when we're out running errands and they have extra time to be creative. The kids use them for coloring. There's no marks all over the walls like there are sometimes with markers or different paint sticks and those kinds of things. So a roll of colored pencils, I'll make sure to drop these links below so you can check them out. But it was an absolute huge hit to the point where more rolls have made the list this year for Christmas gifts for my other kiddos because we only got one last year. So it's been used pretty hard. And still right now, if I told him to go grab the pencils, my son would know exactly where those were. They come with a little sharpener and the roll keeps them all together. Absolute huge winner. We'll be adding some more of those this year. Now, along with that, I recommend a little notepad. There are various sizes that we like. And you can just get several different options, whatever works best for your family or in the size of bag that you're going to be traveling with. But these give the kids something to write on, a great busy time activity during church services or any time that you're in meetings or doctor's appointments and they need to be quiet, that leaves the tablets behind. So definitely add in a notebook to go along with your colored pencils. We obviously spend a lot of time in the kitchen, and that's where I'm always at when I'm filming, but my children also love to cook. They love to eat the awesome food that we grow in the garden. They'll try about anything, and they really are big fans of vegetables and fruits, but they're also big fans of cooking because they spend lots of time helping me in the kitchen. Now, one of the gifts that I think has been the most empowering for my little guy in the kitchen itself is a cookbook meant for kids. And this cookbook has different levels of skill that are marked out inside the cookbook itself. So you can have everyone from your beginner to your advanced child chef having access to a cookbook that they can use and make themselves. This has been great. It teaches them reading. There's math involved, of course. So it really helps to get them to follow directions. And we have to course correct sometimes when we see like, oh, wait, you didn't put your dry ingredients together before we added your wet. But my kids have really, really loved this. This was a great addition for our Christmas selection. And if you have kids that like to be in the kitchen or want to gain a little independence, this might be a fun one to add in. If you're looking for something for your older students that is a lot of fun, breeds competition, and helps them out with their math, I recommend a game called Add Some Moldy. And it actually gives you many different increased levels of skill that you can use it with. So everything from my kiddo that's learning addition facts up through my husband who's had lots of years of college math can have a great time playing this game. There are little number cards and it gets wild as the kids are racing to figure out an equation that works to solve the number problem in the center. If you haven't ever seen this game, I really recommend it. It comes in a really small box, so it's easy to travel with, maybe a great stocking stuffer depending on the size of your stocking. And it is a really nice addition to something for competitive kids who love to learn. We pull this one out when my nephew comes down sometimes, so we have a couple kids on the same level. And let me tell you, it gets wild and the kids all want to come back and play that game every single time. The next thing that I found to be a big hit of all different sorts of a range of ages is sporting equipment. Now, we are a very sports-minded family. My kids play basketball, baseball, all of the ages and ranges. And so we do a lot of that stuff. But more than that, we spend a lot of time outdoors. My children like to hunt. They love to fish. So all of the things that can go along with that are really, really big hits. Now, one year, the big gift for our family was a new basketball goal for our court out back. That was awesome. The kids have also really enjoyed bikes. We spend a lot of time headed out on family bike rides. Golf clubs are good. Any new baseball gear, if they're going to be needing a new bat or glove, because those things can be super costly. So it's a great way to add them in at the time of year when you're already going to be purchasing something for them. And then they have a lot of time to break them in or play with them. And so that has just been a really good success with us. When I was asking my son specifically his top gift, we had a 22 one year, which is a shorter gun made just for kids. And they actually use it to squirrel hunt and rabbit hunt and those kinds of things. Just got a shorter barrel that they really enjoy. So guns made the list. I asked my nephew, and his number one gift was a crossbow. So again, more hunting gear, which I find really interesting. Maybe that's just the area that we live in, but it's really awesome skills that are going to help build these kids over a lifetime to be able to feed their families, or just to spend some time in nature and getting out in the great outdoors. So those have been a really, really big hit. Now, we also recently had a guy having a birthday, and he really wanted a mystery tackle box. Now, if you're not in the outdoor world, you might not know what this is, but these are boxes of tackle, and you can usually specify if you want it to just be general or a bass box, or there's a few different special varieties. But these tackle boxes come in a little cardboard collection, and they have like a logo sticker and some other things in there, a little pamphlet that shows how to use all the tackle and the values of it. But then they have some really neat pieces that you're really not going to typically buy for your kids or for yourself. So if you're wanting to try some variety and see what's new out there, the mystery tackle boxes are super fun. And my number 2 son wanted to make sure that got put in there for a plug because they have loved it. For his birthday, we got the 3-month. The first month was his, and then the next 2 months are going to be split between the entire house. But there was a discount package for that. So if you're looking for something that might be a long-term gift, a 3-month, I think there's a 6-month, and maybe even a year subscription would give them a lot of fun that would continue month after month into the coming year. Now, the last thing that I'm going to talk about is an absolute favorite for my little girls. My boys have loved it in years past, and they still do get excited, but the girls have absolutely loved this. And every year on Christmas Eve, I have one box that we open up before we go to bed. The reason I do this is because when we wake up Christmas morning, I like to have a beautiful new set of pajamas on every kiddo so we can see. So the pictures that we take on Christmas morning have matching, beautiful, pristine jammies. Now, I used to buy specific Christmas pajamas, but my girls, like I said, love them so much that I was still looking at Christmas trees in June, July, and August. And I really didn't love that. So last year we made a switch, and I just got them something that I knew they would love, pinks and purples and swirl colors. They really, really did love that. Now, I buy pajamas that are going to last the test of time, that can be passed down to the next kiddo, and even for my littles can be worn for a really long time. So they are a little bit more expensive, but there are constantly codes out for them. I like the Little Sleepies pajamas. Even when my last was born, I only had like 5 pairs of pajamas for her for newborn stages. And those were basically the only clothes that she wore, and lasting for a really, really long time. They last extra long because the hands and feet flip over to give extra length, so they're footed and then footless, and they have just a lot of room in them. So my kids have really, really loved them. And bonus there, my boys actually like to keep their pajamas and use them as a base layer piece underneath their clothes when it's really cold outside or when they're headed out to hunt. So that really gives a lot of, so that extra insulation, even though they might not always like to wear them to bed, comes in really, really handy with the activities that they do love doing and the fact that we are still outside in those cold temperatures enjoying what nature has to offer. Another gift that has been a huge hit for us is a Melissa and Doug set of pots and pans. Now, we used to have an entire kitchen set up and all of the food and all of the things. I have to tell you, oh my gosh, it drove me insane. There was just too much. It was way too much. I actually sent it to another friend who recently had a child, and it was great to have it out of our house. Everyone celebrated having this space back. We no longer had to fight to pick up the pieces, but the one thing we kept were the pots and pans. These pots and pans are stainless steel, as I mentioned. They go outside, they play with them in the dirt, they play with them in the back. They love to play with this set, and they can use them over a pretend campfire if they're going on one of their camping trips. So something like that is a great thing to add in. Again, for me and my house, no kitchen. I just can't take all the pieces. If you're looking for a fun stocking stuffer idea, I love to get seeds. Now, this might seem crazy for people who aren't in the gardening world, but even if you don't have a garden, you can still get flower seeds and show them the process of actually growing a plant from scratch. Last year, my oldest loved banana peppers on his pizza, and he wanted to grow his own peppers. So at Christmas, he got a set of banana pepper seeds in, and they have been absolutely amazing all year long. We've been able to take them from the package as a seed all the way up to being like 5 or 6 foot tall pepper plants at this point, and got multiple rounds, enough peppers to put on our shelf for an entire year. So that has been a lot of fun also. The girls got some gorgeous flowers. We got some sunflowers. So just being able to put something in a pot and grow it has been a really fun adventure for the kids. And it also isn't something that is just going to be clutter around your house. If you have any additional suggestions for a minimal-minded mom that might last the test of time, inspire creativity, get the kiddos outside, and be a lot of fun, drop them below because I'm far from done with my list for this year. So I hope that you all have picked up a few tips that might be helpful for your home. If you have any suggestions on additions that I could put into my list for an outdoorsy family that is more minimal minded, make sure to drop them below because I read every comment and I really appreciate the things that I'm able to gain from my actual viewers. Now, I want to thank y'all for stopping by the Hometown Homestead. Make sure to like and subscribe on your way out, and I hope to see you back really soon. I hope you guys have a fabulous Christmas. And remember, the reason for this season is not the gift giving, but the love given to us from Jesus Christ. Have a great day, friends.